Hello and welcome to The Stinger, a superfan's guide to Marvel, Star Wars, DC, and much, much more in fandom entertainment. I'm your co-host, Josh Gann. Joining me, as always today, there's something of a scientist themselves. It's Trent, Neely, and Joseph Snead. How we doing, boys?
Pizza time.
Peter Parker's got to suffer. It's the law.
That was good. I feel like Trent. I feel like Pizza Time was ready, locked, and loaded.
I like literally. I rewatched Spider-Man 2, and I'm like, that's gonna be my cold open. Like,
is that like the first? I think that because I rewatched it too. I think that's like the first thing Tobey Maguire says.
yeah, he does his little like voiceover thing, and then he's talking to his boss about the
the
stuff. But the first thing he says to like a normal person is the pizza time.
Pizza time. Oh, it's so good, man. Well, if you're wondering what we're here to do today, this episode we talked about a couple months ago. We've been so excited to record this one today on the Stinger. We are ranking all the Spider-Man movies that have been made about Spider-Man himself. We're not talking about that godforsaken Sony extended universe. We are talking about the 10 Spider-Man movies that have been created. We're power ranking them today as a group. I'll get into what that's going to look like here in a second, but as always, you can listen to this podcast wherever you get your podcast. You can watch it on YouTube, and you can follow us on social media at the Stinger Pod. Guys, how we doing today?
We're doing great. You know, I had an excuse to rewatch several Spider films. I tried to get a little bit from each era, which was really funny for my parents to just sort of be like walking through the house when I was watching different ones and be like, what's happening in this one? Like, there's lizards now. There's giant lizards. I'm like, oh, there are giant lizards. Yes, there are.
Yeah. Did you rewatch any, Joseph?
No, I'm firing from the hip.
Let's go. I like it.
Okay. All right. Then what do you think the last time you watched one of these movies was?
Probably when I saw Across the Spider-Verse.
I was wondering. I'm like, would it literally have been Across?
Have you and Courtney made it to any of these in the rewatch?
We made it to Homecoming.
Okay.
So, yeah, there you go. Homecoming was the last one I watched.
That's cool. Yeah, I rewatched basically pieces of a bunch. I don't think I actually ever finished an entire Spider-Man movie, but I watched a bunch of them in pieces.
I like that though.
But I got so many of the good parts. You know what I mean? Like, you got some of these movies I've seen a million times, and I can kind of be like, let me get to this scene. How many did you rewatch, Trent?
So I rewatched Spider-Man 2 for Tobey. I rewatched both of Andrew's, and then I watched Far From Home.
Okay, interesting.
Just to get like a cross section of all three of them.
Interesting. Okay, that's a good cross section. So Spider-Man Brand New Day, it's coming to theaters pretty soon. July 31st. Go get your tickets. I don't work for Disney or Sony, but I'm gonna be there. That is why we're doing this episode today. And Spider-Man is just like one of the most goated characters in comic books and in pop culture in general. So what's your guys' connection to Spider-Man?
Yeah, for me, I genuinely don't remember if I watched the 90s cartoon first or if it literally was Tobey's first movie. But those two things basically happened simultaneously for me. And I was obsessed with both of them. Like, I watched every episode of the cartoon, and I've seen the Tobey movies, probably close to like the OG Star Wars trilogy amount of rewatches. Like, I basically have those memorized.
Oh man, that's so cool.
So it means a great deal to me. And then Andrew comes along and reboots the series, and I love Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man, as I'll talk about a little bit later. And then to see Spider-Man finally join the MCU was such like a this is never going to happen. I can't believe this happened moment. It's easy to take for granted now, but it's great. And I think that character is so relatable, and just because it's like, in all of these superhero things of like, powers and magic, it's like this is just a kid who's like always torn between what he wants to do and what he feels like he needs to do. and it's just like that's such a universal kid experience, but even as an adult, it still hits pretty hard.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I think Spider-Man. I mean, Spider-Man is probably my second favorite fictional character besides Batman, just period, and not just superheroes, just in general.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh wow. That's interesting. I can see it though. Joseph, how about you?
Yeah, I think probably the first Tobey Maguire Spider Man was probably my introduction. I was more into the X Men animated show when we were kids than
Yeah.
Spider Man. Um, but yeah, I mean, everybody, like when Spider Man was coming out, you walk around and be like that, and
Yeah.
Yes.
people knew what you were talking about.
It's
You're talking
universal language.
Yes.
about, yeah, and then just I remember going and seeing like Spider Man 3 with my dad because
Yeah.
we would go and see like we went and saw the X Men movies and Spider Man and the Fantastic Four movies, and for me, I was like, these are all so cool, and never
Yeah.
even made a connection. Like, yeah, they're just different things. Like, why would they? Why would Spider Man be in a not Spider Man movie?
Right.
Yes. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I remember when they all came out. I remember we were in like high school, just started high school, I think, when Amazing Spider-Man came out, which is crazy because Amazing Spider-Man came out the same year as the first Avengers movie.
Yep.
Oh, I was trying to. Yes.
I think the part of the reason that movie is not as like remembered in the culture is it came out the same year as the Avengers and the Dark Knight Rises. And so
true.
and then Amazing Spider-Man 2 comes out the same year as Winter Soldier and Guardians of the Galaxy. And so both years that the Andrew ones come out, it's just buried.
And it was Winter Soldier, Guardians of the Galaxy, X-Men Days of Future Past.
Right. So it just got buried in the superhero movie conversation by just what was surrounding it.
And when did Spider-Man 3 come out? Was that
2007, right
2007.
before like the MCU kicks off?
Well, right. And so that's like a 5-year gap in between the last Tobey movie and the first Andrew movie?
Yep.
That's
because
like,
because it can't be any more than that because then Sony loses the rights.
oh,
So it's always 5 years or less.
I forgot about that stipulation. But for movie going audiences, that's not enough time.
Right.
At least before we get to the superhero boom and everything, it's not enough time because I mean Star Wars waited 10 years. And that felt like a long time without getting a Star Wars movie, but
And I think it's different too from something like a James Bond where like the changes are kind of just like everybody just kind of knows
right.
that it's going to happen. It's like, oh, there's a new James Bond. Okay. And then you just move on. Because, I think some of it too is you never go back, which I've only seen a couple of the James Bond movies, but I don't think they just keep redoing an origin for him.
No.
Like, if he even has one, it's just like, hey, this is a spy, and he's going and doing spy things. And with Spider-Man, they're like, all right, let's rehash it, kind of like Batman. Like, let's see his origin again. Like, everybody knows what his origin is.
Yeah.
Like, everybody knows who Uncle Ben is. Uncle Ben dies.
Yeah. Right. It's there's a lot to talk about. For me, Spider-Man was he was the first superhero that I really fell in love with because I watched the Spider-Man. I probably saw episodes of the Spider-Man animated series, and I watched some of the Batman animated series as well. But like the movies are what stuck with me. I saw the first Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movie at least on DVD at home like a million times. And same with Spider-Man 2. And then went to the theater for Spider-Man 3 and thought it was Spider-Man 3 and Revenge of the Sith are very much linked together in my mind.
I literally was about to say that. That's so funny.
They're so similar in a lot of ways, and we'll talk about that. But what I remember is I had the Spider-Man costume, the Toby suit costume, as like a I don't know 7 or 8 year old, and my grandfather on my mom's side, we called him Gippy. The man carried a camcorder around everywhere. He just recorded everything, and he did home movies with us growing up, and we made when there was I can distinctly remember like a weekend or something where like a bunch of my cousins came over to my house and we just made a Spider-Man movie
That's
at my
awesome.
house. Me in the Spider-Man costume, and I was like trying to do flips and cartwheels and everything. And like no one else got to be Spider-Man. I was Spider-Man for the whole thing.
Of
I don't
course.
know why I got to be the one, but I guess it's because I had the costume. But like that, in like it was specifically I was being Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. That's who I was being. I wasn't being Spider-Man. I was being the Spider-Man that I saw in the movies.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think about that a lot, man. Like those movies impacted me in a way. It carried over to the rest of my family having to get pulled into making a Spider-Man movie with me.
Did either of you guys have the like the Spider-Man like silly string
Yes.
Yeah, yeah,
sweatshirt?
100%.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh my
100%.
god.
I had one, and it had it came with like a Spider-Man glove, and so you
Yep.
put the
Yeah,
Spider-Man glove
yeah.
on, and you were like, "You're Spider-Man," and then for those who don't know, you basically put something that was the size of a spray paint can, just like
Mm-hmm.
clip it to your
Yes.
wrist, and you had a little Spider-Man button, and you basically just shoot silly string like a web,
Yes.
and you just go around. And you could go to Toys R Us, and they had
Yep.
like the refill
Yeah.
canisters for if you ran
Yes.
out. You just
Yes.
go in and get your next Spider-Man refill
It's crazy.
and keep it going.
Drove our parents crazy probably spraying that stuff in the house.
Yes. I remember like one of the few times like I didn't get in trouble because they gave it to me, but like I remember like I tried to like spray it in the kitchen specifically. My mom was like this is where we prep food. Like this is not happening
You're
here.
not
Like
you
I
can't
think
be
we had
Spider-Man in the kitchen.
I think we had the understanding that we needed to do that outside. So I
Nah,
don't ever remember doing it
we,
inside.
we were bending rules over here, man. Spider-Man's for anywhere.
Spider-Man waits for nobody.
Oh, that's great.
I did have when Spider-Man 3 came out, action figures of Spider-Man and Harry's version of the Goblin.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
And Harry's version of the Goblin I loved because he had the like uh, skateboard glider. And
Yes.
I,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
feel like
for
a
a 10-year
generation of
old,
kids became snowboarders and skateboarders because of that
Yeah. Yeah.
like design.
Yep.
for a 10-year old in 2007, a flying skateboard was like the coolest thing we'd ever
Oh,
seen.
it was sick, man. Those movies were so of its time.
Right. It's the most 2007 thing that they were like, how do we get kids into this? And it's like, we have to make him a skateboarder.
Well, I mean, that's when we had emo Peter Parker.
That's
Right.
true. Right. Again, very of its time. Oh, yeah, I can't wait to talk about it.
And
All right, so
2007 was when the first Transformers came out too, right?
Yes.
oh,
Yes.
wow.
So we had emo dancing Peter Parker and then Linkin Park with Optimus
Yeah.
Prime giving the greatest movie ending that's been put to film to this day.
That's
We
actually
were
nuts.
good back then because that first Transformers movie, as kids, we're like, their cars that turned into robots.
Yeah.
Right.
This is the coolest thing ever.
Pretty sick stuff, man. We had it good and we didn't know it. All right, let's talk about how this is gonna go today. So, as we mentioned, we're gonna rank 10 Spider-Man movies that have come out. So we're talking all 3 Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies. We're talking 2 Andrew Garfield Amazing Spider-Mans. The 3 Tom Holland Spider-Man movies that have come out already. But yeah, obviously we haven't seen Brand New Day.
Mhm.
And then the 2 Into the Spider-Verse and then Across the Spider-Verse. Counting as our 10 like big feature film versions of Spider-Man. No TV movies, no TV shows. We're like I said, we are not talking Morbius or Madam Web or any of those other movies tangentially associated to Spider-Man. We're only talking about Spider-Man here. With that being said, we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna rank them 1 to 10. What we're gonna do is we're gonna start at number 10 and work our way up to 1. We each have decided what our personal rankings are. And for each number that we get in the rankings, We'll each go around one by one and nominate a movie to be placed in that number. And we will have to come to a consensus as a group what movie we slate at each number in the rankings. Um, am I missing anything? Does that
I,
sound
that
right?
that sounds correct.
Okay. Correct
Consensus
me
as a
if I'm
group.
wrong at any point.
Consensus as a group is just majority rule, correct?
Yes.
Right.
Correct.
2/3 vote.
We literally will not end this podcast if we do anonymous. It will be ongoing for a very long time. So two out of three need to vote on it. Do we want to each of us say what we picked at each number, or just have like someone nominate a movie?
That's an interesting point. Actually, I think we should just each one of us should pick one, and then we can like if we agree, then we could just be like, or like we roughly agree, like we could be like instantly like, yeah, I agree, and then say why.
I see.
But if we disagree, it's like, oh, actually, I have this.
Okay, that's cool.
We could do each one of us when we get to, so we go through, and when we get to a certain number, we just round robin it. Like, okay, Trent, you're going to nominate your number 10 as number 10. And then, like, okay, Joseph, you're going to nominate your number 9 as 9, and then around.
I'm cool with that.
And then if the other two are like, no, that's not 9, we move to the next person and they nominate.
Yeah. Okay. I like that. I've got my rankings ready.
So do I.
You guys got yours ready. Let's start at number 10. And we'll start with Trent.
So this is a hot take. This is like my one hot
this
take.
This is what you said. 10 was like your hot take
on the list. So at number 10, I actually have Spider-Man: Far From Home.
Wow. Okay. I don't have that at 10.
Okay. Do you guys want me to pitch it a little bit?
What do you think, Joseph?
I don't have it at 10, but it's not high for me. So I'm open to a pitch from Trent.
Yeah, pitch it, Trent.
So obviously, this movie comes out 3 months, I think, after Avengers Endgame.
Yeah.
And herein lies sort of the problem, is that in the moment in July of 2019, of course, they had to make a movie about the aftermath of Endgame. However, like, Tony Stark hangs over this movie too much. That 5 years later, with it just watching it cold outside of the immediate context of Endgame, it's like, why is there a Spider-Man movie that's just about him being bummed that Tony Stark isn't here? Also, I just think that like, I love Tom Holland's performance. I love Jake Gyllenhaal's performance. I think the Mysterio illusion sequences are actually pretty dang awesome. But I think the whole Edith drone thing like kind of makes no sense. And I'm like, I don't actually understand what Mysterio's original plan is, because everybody like remembers the twist of him exposing Peter's identity, but his whole original idea of like, I'm going to use drones to trick people that I'm the greatest superhero. I'm like, but all the other Avengers have like technology that could see that it's drones like the entire time. Like, I don't know what he's trying to achieve. So rewatching it today, I was like, this movie kind of makes like no sense in a lot of ways. And it just has too much of like an Avengers Endgame hangover attached. And so for those reasons, of all the 10, like I'm picking it last if you put all 10 of these DVDs in front of me.
It's so basically your argument is it's not enough of a Spider-Man movie as the rest of these movies.
That, and I just think that the like Mysterio plot kind of makes no sense. Like, when you actually think about that, the plot of this movie from scene to scene for like 5 minutes, it really falls apart quite severely.
What say you, Joseph?
I don't have it last. I don't have this one up particularly high. I think there's some good stuff in this movie. I think Trent was right. The performances. I do like, though, that the MJ and Peter ship.
Yeah.
We get a little bit more with Flash kind of figuring out that his home life isn't great, although that's just a little bit of the movie. The Nick Fury stuff that ends up not being Nick Fury is a little strange.
Yeah, I
And
didn't
of
like that.
course, it sets up Secret Invasion, which was awful. Calling it the worst one seems harsh, but it is a little unfocused. The happy Aunt May romance is a little strange.
Yes. Yeah.
And the other thing too, the Spider-Man identity reveal, if I'm not mistaken, was a post-credit scene. Right?
It was.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
The movie technically ends with MJ like falling out of his arms and him going to catch her.
That's wild.
There's a lot of strangeness with it, even though I enjoyed the movie.
Me too. To be clear, I don't think this is a bad movie, but if you ask, like, something has to be the weakest one in my subjective brain, and this is where I landed.
I think that's the thing, is there are worse movies on this list than Far From Home. I think
there is one. I think there's one movie on this list that is straight up bad.
Right.
But in the interest of keeping this moving along, I will, Trent, I will formally second your nomination.
Let's go.
Wow.
Let's go. I can't believe I actually pulled that off.
I can't believe you did either. I'm going to be honest. I very much disagree with this. Let the record show.
Right. Sure. I'm sure there will be one. There's probably at least one.
I'm
for
the
all
dissenting justice in this decision. I don't know. I think Far From Home gets a bad rap if we compare it to the rest of the movies we're going to today. It's like it's not much worse. Like, the one thing we haven't really talked about yet is that if we were doing a Star Wars rankings, or if we were doing like a Batman rankings, there are clear bad movies.
Yes.
And there's sometimes a lot of them.
Yes.
And with these movies, I don't think the bar is, it's got the highest floor out of almost any character's canon.
I do 100% agree with that.
I think out of these 10, there's only one bad one.
That's how I feel too.
I feel like
now, granted,
I feel like if you ask the internet, there's like two objectively bad ones, and the two objectively bad ones, both of them, I'm like, I see the merits of both of these movies.
Yeah. The only to be completely candid,
sure,
I've only not seen one of these movies, and I still have not seen The Amazing Spider-Man 2. So I guess that complicates my view a little bit. So we'll talk about that when we get there.
We'll talk about it.
Since this could be a different way of doing things, since we have both Trent and the official Stinger ranking of Far From Home, Josh, do you want to say where we actually have it ranked? And we could be like, yeah, this one I actually have here. Or do you want to wait and do our list at the end?
Yeah, do you just want us all to rattle the rest at the end?
Let's do that at the end.
Okay.
Let's do that at the end. Keep some suspense for the audience.
There we go.
All right, but Spider-Man Far From Home is going to be a 10.
Wow.
That's surprising. I can't believe you did it, Trent.
I kind of can't either, to be honest.
Joseph will pan to you now for our nominated movie at 9.
Okay. The movie I'm nominating for 9 is my number 10 movie on the list. I think it is the only bad one on the list, and I'm going to nominate The Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Okay,
I knew this was coming.
No, go ahead.
The suit is the only thing that's better than The Amazing Spider-Man 1. Or really, it's the only really, really good thing about the movie.
That's crazy. That's a crazy thing to say.
The end of the first movie. So, spoilers for The Amazing Spider-Man, which I have a fond place in my heart for. The end of the first movie, Gwen Stacy's dad dies.
Uh-huh.
And as he's dying, he's like, "Hey, Peter, you're going to get my daughter killed. So could you, like, pretty please leave her alone. And Spider-Man's like, I will. And he's like, promise that you'll do it. He's like, okay, I promise I'll leave your daughter alone. And at the end of the movie, he's basically joking around with Gwen, like, I'm totally breaking that promise to you. And then in the second movie, he's having these visions of Gwen's dad, like just looking at him and being like, what are you doing? So like they have Dennis Leary come back. Electro is like fine in the movie. He's kind of like, not kind of like, Electro's a loser in the movie.
It's a very specific comic book movie trope of like person with glasses who's socially awkward and doesn't have a lot of friends that they do occasionally. And I'm like, why'd they do this way?
Yeah.
You remember the beginning of Iron Man 3 when Aldrich Killian shows up and he's got like weird hair and glasses. So imagine what Aldrich Killian at the beginning of Iron Man 3 is. Take all of the hair and wardrobe and put it on Jamie Foxx.
That's crazy.
Yeah, pretty much.
I've seen clips, but like that's crazy.
That's what he looks like. He's got like strands of hair hanging down, his like bald patches.
That's so weird. That's just a weird choice.
There's like the worst thing about the movie, in my opinion, is they teased all throughout the trailers the Rhino fight.
Yep.
And you don't get the Rhino fight in the movie. The movie just ends right when he's about to fight the Rhino.
Right. You do
Are you serious?
You get the amazing shot of him in slow-mo deflecting missiles with a manhole cover, which I maintain is awesome, but that's literally the end of the movie. Like they made it seem like it's the beginning of the fight, but that's literally like the thing that you see before it cuts to black.
That's crazy. I didn't know that.
They literally had the ending shot of the movie in the trailer.
Correct.
And it was Spider-Man fighting Rhino.
It's a bad choice 100%.
That explains why people are like, getting pretty hot about this movie. One of the main
reasons that I think people don't like the movie.
I know Sony gets a lot of crap for spoiling movies in their trailers. The trailer for The Amazing Spider-Man 2 literally spoiled every single thing that happened in the movie. Because in the trailer,
even the Gwen stuff,
the Gwen stuff was the centerpiece of the trailer.
Right? They like show her like dangling
through the clock tower and him shooting the web. And
yeah.
And it was all in the trailer, and it's so on the nose of that specific Spider-Man issue. You're like, they're about to kill Gwen, which I was kind of mad about because I really liked Emma Stone.
Yeah,
Gwen.
I mean, look, guys. The combo between Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone is like, how'd they pass up on that? That's dynamite as both Peter Parker and Gwen Stacy. That is crazy.
I maintain it's the best romance in comic book movies, period.
Oh, whoa.
That's how much I like the two of them.
Really?
Yes.
I'm trying to think. Yeah, I'm like
some other stuff that happened in the movie. Harry Osborn has like goblin disease that makes you turn crazy.
Yes.
And Norman Osborn has it too. And then Norman Osborn dies after like 5 minutes. He just kind of like coughs and is like, okay, I'm dead now. And Harry's just kind of chilling. Harry's been away for a while. Peak cringiness when Peter and Harry are together, of them being like, hey, what's up, my friend? I haven't seen you in 10 years. Where were you for my first movie? So there's a scene. There's a scene in like the final fight between Spider-Man and Electro where Electro is jumping through a substation and doing a dubstep version of the Itsy Bitsy Spider.
Wait,
that does happen.
Wait, are you serious?
Yeah, that was
so, like, should I play this for Carter kind of deal? Like, will he like it? Like,
Gray loves the Rhino fight at the end of Amazing Spider because he's obsessed with the Rhino.
There's no fight though.
Well, yeah, but like we can't show him like Joseph like Harry losing his teeth and getting the craziest thing about the Goblin, fair. Josh, and this is it like makes his hair blow out.
Oh
really
yeah.
hard.
Really?
Yeah.
So Harry.
Actually, Josh, can you do me a favor? Can you just
Yeah.
look up Harry Osborn, Amazing
Yeah,
Spider-Man
yeah, yeah.
2,
Let me,
like, and react
yeah.
live to the image on the pod? Because I think
Oh,
it's
and the other thing I'm remembering now, Harry shows up and is like, "Hey Peter,
Oh,
I know you
wait.
take pictures of." He's like, "I know you take pictures of Spider-Man." Oh my goodness, I'm remembering more about why this movie is terrible.
Who did
The
they? Why
opening,
did they hide? Sorry.
so the thing that is always seen as the opening scene of the movie is Spider-Man dropping, and you're seeing him from like the top, and he goes and does this sweet web slinging thing, which everybody remembers as the beginning of the movie. It's not the beginning of the
it
movie
is not.
because there's a scene where Spider-Man's parents are like scientists working on spiders,
Yep.
and Trent, I don't quite remember, but they have to leave for some reason. Like they go on a secret spider mission or something.
Oh,
And
I
on
can
the
take the baton on this and explain because I just rewatched this, so I can explain the full parent plot real quick. So basically, they have to leave Peter abandoned because Richard Parker was working on science human cross genetics to like cure diseases, but Norman was going to use it to create bioweapons. And when Richard Parker found out, he was like, I need to destroy my work because Norman like framed Richard Parker for crimes. And so I got to leave Peter behind. And basically, Richard reveals that, like, oh, actually, I made the cross genetics thing work, but only with my blood does it work. So basically, it retcons Peter Parker that he was like destined to become Spider-Man because only a Parker could be bitten by the spider to get
Oh,
magical
that's bad.
abilities. And Peter only finds this out when he uses magical subway tokens to discover his dad's secret science base in the subway tunnels of New York City.
That's nuts.
I actually like this movie. I actually like genuinely. I'm not I think the stuff that's bad about it is bad, but the things about the Peter character that it gets right, it does get really right. Like I think the web swinging is some of the best web swinging we ever get in any of these movies. I think there's a Times Square sequence where he like slows down time and it fully stops. That's like
Oh,
really genuinely impressive. Um, and I think Gwen's death might be the saddest thing that's ever happened in a comic book movie. Because you have to remember that like this is before Infinity War. This is
yeah.
before even Logan. Like this is the first time in a comic book movie that like a hero has like a major consequence that isn't reversed.
Mm.
So for those reasons, I actually don't think it can be the worst one. But I'm not going to put up a fight after I got my beautiful.
but there's more with this, and I don't want to take up too much time with this terrible movie. So uh, Harry comes to Spider-Man and is like, "I'm sick," or he comes to Peter and he's like, "I'm sick. I
Yeah.
know you're friends with Spider-Man. I need Spider-Man's blood to make me better."
Yes, that happens too.
And so he's like, "Peter,
I
can
don't know,
can
guys.
you help me out? Can you give me Spider-Man's blood?" And I think Peter at this point has like figured out the stuff with his dad. Is like, I don't really know if that's going to work because I don't know what my blood could do to you. And he's like, "Please, can you help me out, Spider-Man?" And Harry kind of freaks out a little bit. But ultimately, Spider-Man is like, "All right, here's a vial of my blood. Go do what you need to." So Harry just like mixes up some stuff with Spider-Man's blood, I think, and then injects himself.
Yep.
He's like, "Oh man, I'm feeling better." And then he starts tweaking, and like his shoulder blades start going in, and his teeth are falling out, and his face is getting all like stretched, and his hair is falling out, and his body's getting all emaciated. And you know what he does? He's like, "I'm dying. Let me get into this Green Goblin suit and on this glider." So then Harry goes crazy and comes out of nowhere and is like, "All right, let me just kill Gwen Stacy now." And he shows up after the final Electro fight, and they fight a little bit on top of the clock tower, and then he just like drops Gwen and some shenanigans happen. But he turns evil like immediately
It's
on
very quick.
getting goblin stuff.
That's crazy.
And then at the end of the movie, the shadowy guy, I think the shadowy guy from the beginning shows up and is like, "Hey man, I'm putting together a team." And it's like you see like the Venom symbiote in like a cage and the Doctor Octopus arms and I think Vulture wings because they were setting up hard the Sinister Six movie that was in development.
Yes,
And
they
then
were.
there was going to be like Spider-Man 3 and
And
Black
4.
Cat was supposed to get a spinoff because Black Cat was in the movie as like Harry's assistant.
There's a lot going on.
So as you're saying this is like a little bit of what's making me nervous about Brand New Day. Like that, way too much. I
was going to bring this up, is that every Spider-Man trilogy, including maybe Brand New Day, has like a movie where they just put everything in it, and it's always too much, and it's always a problem.
And
well,
and there's just to see the insanity going into this movie. There's a deleted scene of the movie. Peter's sitting in the cemetery at Gwen's grave, and some time has passed. And his dad shows up and is like,
"Yeah,
what's up, son? I'm alive. How's it going?"
What?
So Spider-Man's dad is still alive, and it was a deleted scene, so it wasn't like
right.
It's not canon.
They didn't go.
It's not canon.
But I was like, what were they doing with this movie? This movie is terrible. Like, so
it has to be 9.
All that being said, I nominate Amazing Spider-Man 2 for number 9.
Yeah, there's things about it that I like, but between the argument that Joseph has put forward and in the interest of time, I won't.
That was like a thesis. It was like that genuinely was like a thesis. Like if you want to pump it any higher, let me remind you why.
One day I will lay out for you guys that while the whole movie as a whole is kind of terrible, like the Peter Parker theme of like what they're trying to do with Peter is objectively good. But I'll save that for another time.
Okay. By the way, Harry Osborn, what were they doing with this casting choice?
Well, okay, so Dane. Okay, real quick, I promise.
It was off of Chronicle, wasn't it? It was really soon after.
Chronicle literally comes out, and he plays kind of a like spoiler for the end of Chronicle, kind of a goblin turn at the end of that. So in 2014, 2 years after Chronicle, it made 100% sense to cast Dane DeHaan.
Okay,
that's
Harry
fair.
Osborn. And, Chris Cooper was Norman Osborn for like 5 minutes.
Oh wow!
And I think there was a deleted scene too, and this is the last insane thing I'll say about this movie. I think there was a deleted scene too where Norman Osborn's frozen head was like in stasis to come back as the Goblin in the future.
That's great. That's really the icing on the cake. That's some palpable. This movie sounds like Rise of Skywalker.
I will say that it is better than Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah. I'm just saying in terms of thematic elements at play or plotting elements at play. It's Norman Osborn's head in a jar. That's nuts. That sounds like
it's an interesting movie.
All right, I'm gonna go next. And at number 8, and I have a soft spot for this movie, but simply because it can, in my opinion, I cannot bump anything else lower than this movie. I'm nominating Spider-Man 3 here.
Yes. I enjoy watching this movie.
Yeah, so do I.
But similar to The Amazing Spider-Man 2, there's a lot going on here. I actually agree with this.
Joseph, what like are you? What I gotta know where you're at. What's your vibe check?
I disagree.
Okay, interesting. Look, I loved this movie when it came out. As how old was I? 10? Yeah. As a 10-year-old, I thought it was like Revenge of the Sith was 1 in terms of trilogy finales, and Spider-Man 3 was 2. Like it was right there with like, this is how you end an epic cinematic trilogy right here.
For sure.
But like, we can't, like, as fun as it is to watch, and I think you can have, like, Spider-Man 3 is basically like, I think, a cult movie now. And I think you can have that, but I cannot say it is better in quality than any of the other movies that we're going to talk about because of the things like emo Peter Parker that exist in this movie are like so cringe that you're like, what on earth happened here?
So I actually defend emo Peter Parker a little bit because the symbiote doesn't make him cool. It makes him not care that people don't think he's cool. And that's a distinction. Like Sam Raimi has talked about this.
Okay.
And so I like the idea in this trilogy that the first two movies are so much about Peter being so angsty about how do I balance these two parts of myself, that this third movie is he's like, hey, everybody loves Spider-Man, like I'm the greatest human ever, and that being like his downfall. I actually really like that about Spider-Man 3. Where it falls off the rails for me is that like there's so many villains in this that they literally have to give Harry Osborn amnesia to like sidelight him for 35 minutes.
That's right.
So that they can and while they're doing other stuff with two villains and the symbiote and all that stuff, they're also like the Harry, MJ, Peter triangle, which never made sense to me in any of these three movies.
Yeah.
Must take center stage for a significant chunk of this runtime. That said, there's still stuff in here that's awesome. Like the Sandman emergence sequence and music is like genuinely like emotionally stirring, like sad, tragic stuff.
Yeah.
And the construction fight is kind of awesome.
I agree.
I know a lot of Venom fans hate Venom's design. I love that he's a creepy little velociraptor sounding like dinosaur who just screeches and so I agree that this is probably where it ranks objectively, but that said, I enjoy watching this one a ton. I was kind of sad I didn't actually get a chance to rewatch this, to be honest.
I didn't rewatch it either. It's probably been years since I have, but it holds a special place in my heart. Sandman is actually the part of this movie that I think about a lot when I come back to it. I think it's out of all the, like you said, there is a lot going on in this movie. I think out of all of the like character development that happens in this movie, his is actually one of the strongest. I think he makes a lot of sense as a villain. It's just there's too much going on. There's a lot of cooks in the kitchen here, and look, I hear what you're saying about the symbiote thing and what it's actually doing to Peter Parker, but the jazz club sequence is just like
the jazz club. I will not defend. The jazz club thing is
absolutely horrendous. Like it's so bad. When I'll go back and just watch that clip sometimes and be like, what was happening? Like it is literally like a fever dream.
I'll tell you what, it's so bizarre. I respect that like Sam Raimi convinced like executives to be like, in the middle of our big family blockbuster, I'm gonna have Toby do a full jazz dance number.
Right. And to his credit though, Toby commits to it, man.
And it from a choreography standpoint, like it actually like it looks good. Like it's a well staged sequence that in no way should be in a movie called Spider-Man 3.
No, not at all.
I think another good thing is some of the emotional core of the movie, because you have the scenes where Spider-Man is like, or when Peter's like, hey Aunt May, the guy that actually killed Uncle Ben, he's dead. Isn't that awesome? And she's like, no, I wouldn't say that's awesome. We try, we hope he can like reform or be better. I don't remember exactly how the scene goes. The scene where Peter forgives Sandman at the end is like,
is
crazy.
Truly great.
It's so good.
Yeah, I think it's great.
And I think some of the emotional stuff with Peter and Harry is good, of like their fighting had long-term consequences and that Harry died at the end.
Yeah.
He got all scarred up and everything. It is funny. I think it was in the How It Should Have Ended where the butler shows up and is like, your father died by his own blade. And Harry's like, why did you not tell me this years ago?
Yeah.
I got into a giant fight with my best friend because I thought he killed my dad.
Right.
So, but I think there's a lot of good emotional payoff in it.
There is. That's actually the thing that I want to say, especially about Sandman. Yeah, there's a lot of great emotional payoff. I think that's why it still did resonate with me as a 10-year-old kid.
I think that's part of the reason that there has been sort of this reappraisal of it in the last like 5 or 7 years. Is they're like actually like what they're trying to do, similar to the Amazing Spider-Man 2, like what they're trying to do with Peter is good here.
Mm-hmm.
It's just there's so much other stuff that the movie is also trying to do.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
But I still stand by that this is 8.
Okay. So we are at 10 Spider-Man Far From Home, at 9 The Amazing Spider-Man 2, at 8 Spider-Man 3. That's one from each live action trilogy here at the bottom. That's actually, a little surprising to me. We get representation from all three at the bottom. But I think that 7 and on and up until we get to about the 2 to 3 range is the most interesting part of this exercise.
Uh-huh.
I think this is where the most variance is going to occur from our 3 different tastes. And because I in my opinion, going on from here, there's not really a bad movie.
Correct.
No,
there's not an outright bad movie. So Trent, it's going to go back to you now. What will you nominate as the 7th movie in our rankings?
This is not what I would have on my list in the 7th, but due to things, I think The Amazing Spider-Man has to go here. The first Amazing Spider-Man.
Yep. This is where I had that movie ranked.
I enjoy this movie quite a bit. There was the whole debate when this movie came out of like, is another Spider-Man movie necessary? And I'm like, maybe not. But if it's necessary or not is sort of irrelevant. It's like, is it good? And I do think objectively, like, this is a good story, Spider-Man story. I have sort of said this already. I think Andrew really is the best Spider-Man, because he's the first one that creates a distinct portrayal of both Peter Parker and Spider-Man. Tobey, like, famously does not speak a lot in The Mask. Whereas in Andrew's first Amazing Spider-Man, you have the great carjacking scene where like the guy pulls a knife and he's like, "Is that a knife? My weaknesses are small knives," and all of that stuff. And I like that the origin in this one, it's not better than Tobey's, but I like that it's more gradual, where he's like looking for Uncle Ben's killer for a while, and he's like slowly building up the suit, and he makes his own web shooters, which I'm actually pro mechanical web shooters.
Same.
I am too.
Same.
And yeah, I think the chemistry with him and Emma Stone is just really good.
It's very good in this movie.
And I love actually looking back for both the Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2 that like they have just some pure comic book wackiness stuff in here. Like I love that the fact that the lizard's plan is he just wants to turn people into giant lizards. Like I'm like, yeah, that is absurd and dumb, but this is also like this is what comic books are. Like these are the plots that these things have.
That's true. Yeah.
So I'm very happy that this made it all the way to 7th, to be honest. I thought maybe I was gonna have to fight a little bit for this one. So
yeah. I think Emma Stone as Gwen is very clearly the best love interest.
Yes.
Between the 3 live action Spider-Mans. Really, really liked her. And I think some of what set her apart is she has more like agency and helps Spider-Man do his stuff instead of kind of waiting to be rescued, which Zendaya doesn't do as much, but there is still that element of it, whereas Gwen is kind of like helping him figure out the plan and everything. And I do think they have the best chemistry of any of the Spider-Man couples, because
I definitely think so.
I think Tom Holland and Zendaya's chemistry has grown. I mean, just obviously with the real life stuff.
I was about to say they took it off screen.
Tobey Maguire and Kirsten Dunst. That ain't it, Chief.
No,
it's like it's one of the things that's truly aged the worst.
It really has aged. Yeah.
But yeah, Gwen was one of my favorite parts of the movie. I like the lizard. I liked getting kind of a really goofy villain that was very clearly set apart from the Tobey Maguire villains, because I think Dr. Connors was in like Spider-Man 3 or something, but just as like a scientist.
Yeah.
But I liked seeing the full-on lizard. The stuff where Spider-Man was like putting the cameras up in weird places and then just like chilling in the sewer on his phone, waiting for the lizard.
Yeah, yeah.
I thought that was good. One of my favorite things is the scene in the movie where they turn all of like the boom arms of the cranes so that he can get up to Oscorp faster at the very end of the movie to fight the
Yes.
lizard.
Yeah.
I really
Yeah.
liked that
Yeah.
sequence. Really liked the music in the movie. I mean, it wasn't
Yeah.
Tobey Maguire's theme, which I think we would probably all agree is the most iconic Spider-Man theme.
Oh yeah.
But I really enjoyed it and was kind of sad it didn't come back for the second movie. Um,
I
yeah,
think
I enjoy this movie quite a lot.
watching bits and pieces of this one, I was like, I maybe Andrew Garfield might be the best. I think
Come
I
on.
might be sold that he's the best Spider-Man.
Now, I would say this is probably the worst Spider-Man suit.
Yes,
Yeah,
this is
yeah.
objectively true. I
I
get
think
that they're
so.
going for the very like realistic, like this is what gymnasts and athletes wear, but
Right.
it doesn't look good.
This movie also
I still
this
think it's
movie
part
also
of
felt very of its time, of that like early 2010s.
I forgot that in both Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2 that Mumford and Sons plays a key like needle drop in both movies. And I'm like, this is the most like
it's so of its time.
how do we relate to the used?
I like forget, I don't know why, but in that era of time, every movie was like just had a gray filter slapped on it where everything was just dark and gray
Yeah.
for seemingly no reason.
Yeah.
But this movie is how I to do another Star Wars comparison is kind of how I feel about The Force Awakens, where it's like we have Star Wars at home or we have Spider-Man at home. Like that is to me what this movie is. It's like you're pulling on a lot of the same beats as the first Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movie, in my opinion. And
Yes.
it's like it's fun, but you already did this once. So that's kind of how I feel. I'm not I don't know. I'm not appalled or against it. I like this movie, but I can't get to like loving it. Okay, let's keep it moving. Let's get to number 6. Joseph, you get to nominate now.
I think this is where it's going to take a turn.
Oh, okay.
I am nominating Spider-Man No Way Home.
I don't agree with this.
I'm not sure you're going to be able to sell both Trent and I on this. Give us your pitch. Give us your pitch.
The reason the movie is so loved is because, and I think the love is right in some parts, but it's because of the fan service, which I do not think works in the context of the story. I think in a vacuum, it's great. But I've always said about this movie, they mandated that the 3 Spider-Man have to be in the movie at the end. Now work backwards and get them in this movie. And I don't think it works. It's and again, this is me saying this is like after like Amazing Spider-Man, I don't think there's any bad movies on the list. Like I don't think this movie's bad. It's more I think the rest of the movies on the list are better. But the stuff with Spider-Man's identity getting to be public, it only lasts a movie. Like we really don't get a long-term effect on it. So they fully committed for one movie, but then completely uncommitted. Doctor Strange being in it was fine, but I feel like with as powerful of magicians as him and Wong are, they might have sat down and been like, let's figure out the best way to do this instead of like, all right, come to my basement. We'll do this spell real quick. One thing too, and I get why they did it. I get it's the fan service. Every multiverse character we get is from the only 2 other Spider-Man universes we have.
Yeah.
Like we couldn't get like a different villain. It had to, and you know it's fine, but like they bring Jamie Foxx back as Electro, who was fine in the movie. I'm like, this is not like an iconic Spider-Man villain or anything. They brought back the Lizard, and he didn't really do that much.
No.
He was there. Norman Osborn, no notes, no complaints. We'll leave it at that. Dr. Octopus was, it was fine seeing him. But I'm like, we couldn't get like a version of Craven or a different version of the Lizard. It just had to directly be the ones tied to these two. We picked the only two, like we couldn't get another Spider-Man that would be random, and it could have been something like like in Deadpool and Wolverine where we had the Cavalry and he's in the screen for like 5 seconds. Like we only get these Spider-Men. So to me, it felt more like a mandate than a natural story. I don't have as much of a problem with Peter being an idiot in this movie, but Peter is like, this is the stupidest Peter Parker we've ever seen.
It definitely is. Yeah, I can't disagree with you there.
It's a little bit like, come on, bro.
It is a boneheaded move on his part.
It's really a plot hole that either he or Doctor Strange don't just say like, if we're gonna do like magic can undo this, like the whole movie falls apart if you're like, can't we just make everyone forget that Quentin Beck ever said anything?
Right.
And then the spell would work and the movie's fine.
Right.
Yeah, I think there were different ways to do the movie. Again, I mean, I still like the movie. I don't want to sound like I just hate the movie, but for me, it's weaker from a plot perspective than the rest of the movies on this list because it feels so corporate to me that they had to make this giant event movie, and so they worked. They were like, okay, John Watts, I think, is the director, and I don't remember who the writers were. They were like, you will have Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire, and Tom Holland Spider-Man fight their iconic villains from their movies, except Venom. And we need you to make that work. And I just don't think it does.
See, I guess that's where I disagree ultimately, is that I agree with everything you're saying about it feeling corporate and a mandate and plot structure. It is like the most just scotch tape together plot out of most of these movies. But I think the movie really works in spite of it. Like, I think from an entertainment perspective, it works. From a thematic standpoint, it works. I think from Peter's character arc, I actually think this does the most for his character out of all of the Tom Holland movies.
Me too, because I think if I can piggyback off you, Josh. Sorry to like.
No, go for it.
But I think what makes it work for me, Joseph, is it does this great idea of they introduce Toby and Andrew in the middle instead of the end, which is what I thought they were going to do. And that also it's this idea of Andrew's in the middle of this dark period of like, I've lost Gwen and I'm super angry and depressed. And Toby is like, I've gone through my darkness so I can help both of you guys get through this. And Andrew's like, I can spare Tom Holland my angst. Yeah. And so he does that by saving Zendaya, which does that, spares Tom that pain, and it gives him catharsis. And then Toby can be a big brother to both of them. And I actually think that's really cool that it like continues all three of their arcs in unique ways. Like, I think all three of them actually have their stories moved forward because of No Way Home, which I think is actually pretty dang special.
Yeah. I agree. I don't want to rain on your parade, Joseph.
To be clear, like, I'm going to spoil a little bit of my list here just for the sake of moving. I have No Way Home 5th. Oh. And then I have Across the Spider-Verse at 6th. That's my one change here.
I actually have No Way Home at 7.
Oh, wow.
Oh, okay. You're already compromising.
See, I guess I would do. How about, can I pitch another idea?
Let's pitch.
Yeah, go for another one.
The original Spider-Man.
I really don't like that. I would rather give No Way Home than.
Really?
Yeah,
okay.
I would.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Same for you.
So okay. Are we going around?
Wait. All right. Hold on. Sorry. Let me pitch one other idea.
Go ahead.
Is that all right?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Spider-Man Homecoming.
No.
Yeah, no. I would. Okay. I'd rather give up No Way Home.
All right. I guess that's how it's gonna be.
All right.
So are we back around to Trent now for a
Uh,
nomination, or
who did? No. Well,
or do
I'll
you want to? I can throw up another one if we want.
I think it's
maybe
technically you, Josh.
it's technically me. I'll
Oh, okay.
we'll get anyone. We'll say anyone can interject, but
Okay.
we'll stay in the same round robin order for. So okay, so 6 we are saying officially is Spider-Man No Way Home.
Yep.
Okay, then. Well, I mean, I kind of I revealed my cards a little bit. So I'm gonna go back to the well here at number 5. How about Spider-Man Homecoming here?
I have it again to spoil, but it's close to this for me. So like
Okay.
I don't agree, but like I don't have it too far apart that I can really argue this.
Well, okay. I mean, you know what? I wish I hadn't said that. Because I actually would put this. I would put. Do I get a redo?
You can do a redo if you want, but
All right. Well, then I'm gonna go back to the other one I suggested. How about Tobey Maguire, original Spider-Man at 5?
no, I'd rather do Homecoming.
I would rather do original Spider-Man.
I I went back and rewatched the original Tobey,
Uh-huh.
and most of it anyway. And I think there's a lot of good here. Obviously, like the origin story
Mm-hmm.
of Spider-Man and introducing us to the core tenets of Peter Parker's arc as a character. Great power comes great responsibility. His loss of Uncle Ben, the guilt that weighs on him for that choice that leads to Uncle Ben's death is all fantastic. Let
Uh-huh.
me just say that out of the gate. That is fantastic. It is some of the core text for like if you want to understand comic book movies today, I think. But I do think that the action sequences and yeah, I guess like the Spider-Man parts of it maybe like didn't age as well for me.
Okay.
And that's partially an age thing in terms of like what was able to be done at the time from
Mm-hmm.
a filmmaking standpoint. Um, but listen, we've already talked about Spider-Man 3. It in my mind, 1 and 2 for a long time were way closer in my mind
Mm-hmm.
until I rewatched them and I was like, one really stands above the other in my opinion. And I think
Mm-hmm.
the original Spider-Man is good, but it is not a great movie. And I think some of the other ones we're going to talk about I would classify as great movies.
I don't have any problem with the original Spider-Man here.
Okay. That's where actually no, that's not where I had it. I know. That's not you're going to have to
I will
you're,
we're running through a lot of time, so I will give up this debate, but
you're
I'm not happy about this.
let it be said. Trent is not happy.
I think the original Spider-Man is my favorite superhero origin movie, period. Still. I think it might be the best one that's ever been done.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. It's like I don't disagree with you.
Yeah,
Right.
it's pretty
But
good.
I understand what you're saying about Spider-Man 2. Like we'll have the Spider-Man 2 conversation
Yeah.
soon.
Yeah.
So like we can save it. But I'm okay for the sake of time for moving on. Even
Okay.
though I disagree. On the record disagree.
On the record, let the record show. Okay, then we are up to number 4 now. Trent, what are you gonna suggest here?
This okay, then this this is Across the Spider-Verse for me.
Okay.
For sure.
Yeah, I had a feeling. You guys probably would have put it a lot lower than me. But
Not a lot, but a little bit lower.
It was a bit.
As I have said on our Across the Spider-Verse review, I think this movie is visually it's one of the most stunning movies ever, truly. I do not want to take away from the genuine visual art that this movie is. It's incredible. The soundtrack's one of the best ever. I just think that I know people compare it to Empire and Infinity War, but I think this movie it's half of a movie. And I think we have to wait until Beyond the Spider-Verse comes out to fully judge it.
Yeah,
And
I
so for that
agree.
reason, I can't put it super high because I don't know how I really feel about it yet.
I would. We'll we'll all reveal our list at the end.
Yeah.
This wouldn't be my pick, but I will absolutely settle for fourth. I mean, I think it is. I think it's a real achievement in terms of not just. I mean, visually, I think it's a major achievement. Sound, the score and the music
Yep.
achievement.
Yep.
But I think there's an interwoven character arc of basically two Spider-Man stories with Miles and Gwen in this that I absolutely adore, and that's why I love this movie so much. But
No, and I do think
I think four works.
Yeah, and I think the idea of, because there's the controversy of like Miles Morales being Spider-Man to begin with, like in the comics and stuff, from like toxic sides of the internet sometimes. I think the idea of this movie making the plot of this movie the idea of like you shouldn't have been Spider-Man like is so cool that they confronted the controversy about Miles so directly in this movie. I do think that's super smart. I get it's really just where they end the movie for me that like is such a cliffhanger that it took me out a little bit.
That's interesting.
And I've rewatched this movie at least once, and I've never wavered on it.
Okay,
and it might be a me thing. In fact,
I just think you could say that about other movies. I think you could say that about the first Dune. I think you could say that about. That's the first one that comes to mind. But
that's the Dune. Dune is the closest parallel of like it kind of doesn't actually finish the first Dune.
And I think if we didn't have Dune Part 2, or if Part 2 sucked, then we would not remember Dune the same way.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think going back, like if Beyond the Spider-Verse ends up being awesome, I think this one
it'll get raised up. Yeah.
Yes.
I think that's fair. I think that's totally fair.
I really think it's just dependent on how it ends. Because Into the Spider-Verse, if they left it at 1, it works perfectly.
Right.
Like you can watch it as a one-off Spider-Man movie. You really can't do that with this one.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Okay. All right, Joseph. We're getting close now. Number 3.
I think these last 3, I definitely have a list of what I think they are, but I really think these are like the peak Spider-Man movies. So I am going to, and this is probably going to get shot down again, Spider-Man 2.
Real? Wow.
I honestly don't know,
because I know we know what the other 2 are that are left.
And
I just don't. Oh wow.
And I'll tell you, I don't have a weakness for Spider-Man 2 to be like, oh, this doesn't work or this doesn't work. I think it really is just personally, I like the other 2 more. I really don't think anything can be said against.
That is Spider-Man. Really surprising to me.
I don't think anything can be said against Spider-Man 2.
Because
I'm really surprised. I'm not upset per se. But I'm surprised that Homecoming is still
would be this high. Same. I'm very surprised by that.
And I love Homecoming. Like I love Homecoming. Spider-Man 2, rewatching it a couple weeks ago, the idea of Spider-Man 1 comes out and Sam Raimi's like, I'm going to get audiences to fall in love with a guy who puts on this colorful costume and punches people in the face.
Yeah.
And then Spider-Man 2, everyone's excited for this. I'm going to have the guy give up his superhero identity and be Peter Parker for the majority of it.
Yeah.
The older I get, the more I'm like, this is a revolutionary concept that would never get pitched.
Yeah. Yes.
And the train sequence is one of the best superhero action fights.
Oh my gosh.
Ever.
Yeah. It's great.
It gives me chills thinking about the climax of that sequence as he's being body surfed handed across the hands of the New Yorkers on the subway is just like chills, man.
Which is why I feel bad. I'm like, I love this movie. I just like the other 2 more, and I'm like, I don't.
Josh,
let's hash out. I feel like we know now. Let's hash out the final 3 then.
Yes.
I cannot say. I could not put this above Homecoming in my opinion.
You cannot put Spider-Man 2 above.
I don't. For me personally, if you guys think you can, then we'll do that in the rankings.
I do think Spider-Man 2 is probably the best portrayal of Peter Parker ever.
Yeah.
And like the whole New Yorker thing, like this feels like a hero in New York, like balancing the two sides of his identity. I do think it is like the purest idea of like what is Spider-Man emotionally to a lot of people. Whereas Homecoming, like Homecoming, like I love Homecoming, but like the one weird thing I think you can say about it is he's like, I don't want to be a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man because I did the whole thing in Civil War. And it's like, but you were doing that before Civil War
beforehand,
happened.
yeah.
And so it's like the movie pretends that his origin didn't actually happen before Civil War, even though it did. That's like the one thing I would say about Homecoming that's kind of bizarre.
Let's hear what would your pitch be for Homecoming? As where would you pitch it, Joseph?
Where am I pitching Homecoming?
Yeah.
I mean, I can spoil it.
Yeah.
Are you putting it at 1?
Homecoming for me is 1.
Oh my gosh. That's wait.
Yeah, I told you it was going to get spicy.
That's incredible.
For me, I really like. This is like
I'm in disbelief.
This is like the only one, maybe a little bit of the first Amazing Spider-Man, where we really see Spider-Man just be like a student and balance like doing homework and being in school. I really like that. I really like the goofy, awkward high school nature of it.
Yes, I do.
Me too. Me too.
I like him trying to figure some stuff out and be bigger than what he is. Like, I don't really need to do all this neighborhood stuff. I can be bigger than this. And then he like botches it so bad.
Yeah.
And another thing, I'm going to throw out something else crazy. Vulture's my favorite Spider-Man movie villain.
Oh, I might agree with you there.
I have him only behind Green Goblin because I think Willem Dafoe just commits so hard. But I agree he's the best besides that.
Also,
and I think the reason I like him so much is he is 100% like evil bad guy.
But
I think he's the most relatable evil bad guy.
This is the thing. All the other Spider-Man villains are like they get like too greedy or not cautious, and then they like get turned into villains. But like Vulture's just like, I'm now living in a world with superheroes where like I can't even like provide for my family. Right. And so if the world's like gonna be this super powered craziness, like I might as well get my piece, basically. Which like I'd like morally, like you obviously is not ideal, but like you can understand the base of what he's operating from.
Yes.
Yeah. Vulture is wrong, but I get where he's coming from.
100%.
It makes sense.
And he gets,
that car scene is like the best non-action scene in the MCU, probably.
Well, not even just that. How about the plot twist that he's his date's dad the whole time? I mean, they hid that so well, I thought.
The first time I watched the movie, I like was in disbelief because when he opens the door,
you're like, no.
He kidnapped the girl. How did he know that? Wait a minute. He's like cool with what is going? He's the dad. Oh my goodness! And just like all of that happened.
It blows your mind for about 5 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah, and then their whole conversation in the car when Vulture is like figuring out that he's Spider-Man.
It's so good.
It's like
I think it was really good. Spider-Man kind of coming back to terms with like, I want to be on the ground and like help the lady with the churros. And you know what, Iron Man, it's not time for me to be an Avenger yet. I'm going to go hang out at home and do my thing. And I really like the neighborhood nature of it too. Like, he's goofing off around the neighborhood. He's like beating up a guy who locked his keys in his car.
Yeah.
And
it's so funny.
To me, it's the one that feels most like tonally goofbally of like a kid Spider-Man.
Yes.
That's fair. Yeah, that's 100%.
It nails the high school aspect of it way more than the other movies.
Yeah, because, Tobey Maguire, I think did they graduate in the first movie or the second?
They graduate in the first one.
First one, yeah.
They graduate in the first movie, and then Andrew Garfield, they graduate at the very beginning of the second movie. And then Spider-Man here is like a sophomore or
Yeah,
something.
it's like young.
And
He's very young.
he's still got
Early
more
high
school
school.
ahead of him, and we see all of the schooling ahead of him because
Yeah.
we really still haven't like seen him out of school. Like
Yeah.
even No Way Home, he's still like in high school, even though he's graduating. Um, so yeah, I love Homecoming. It's my favorite.
The other scene I love is when Tony surprises Peter that he's actually in the suit after the
Yeah.
ferry incident, and basically does the great power and great responsibility speech without saying the words. Is if you nothing
You're
without
nothing
the
without the
sea.
sea. You shouldn't have it.
Exactly. Is like found. I think it's fantastic, and it's like I think it gets underrated because it's Tony Stark saying it. But if it was Uncle Ben saying it, we'd be like, oh, that was perfect. I think
The
it's such a
one
great moment.
the one weakness I'll give the Tom Holland Spider Mans is they overcorrect and completely ignore Uncle Ben. I think
Yeah, they do. Yeah,
I think that's something they do that's
To the
not.
point that they give Aunt May the Uncle Ben origin in No Way Home, even though presumably that kind of event's already happened to that
Yeah.
Peter Parker.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so I do think that they did go too far in the other direction
I would
with
agree with
Uncle
that.
Ben.
They also, I think, because in my mind, this movie has been way high on my both MCU list and Spider-Man list for a long time. But when I rewatched this one, I was like, I wasn't expecting this, but all of the Stark tech in the suit was actually bothering me a lot. Like to me, it's so un-Spider-Man when compared to all the other Spider-Man movies we're talking about.
I definitely 100%. I'm glad they realized instantly that like the AI in the suit is like not
It's
what you
just
can
too
do for Spider-Man.
it's too much. Like that's not like what's the point of having spider sense then? You know, like I
Correct.
just that part was actually like just nagged on me more than I thought it would. But okay, I think let's come to some decisions on these final three real quick.
We haven't
I
even
am
talked about
willing.
Into the Spider-Verse yet.
So where would you have Into the Spider-Verse, Trent?
I have it personally at 2.
Oh,
I will reveal we've already done my number 1. My number 1 has been placed already.
I also have
really?
Yeah. I have OG Toby at number 1.
Are you serious?
Yeah. That's when I was saying like I disagree. I was like this is literally my favorite like of these.
I do also have Into the
Really?
Spider-Verse at number 2.
Oh wow, this completely throws me off then. Oh wow.
Because similar to you, Joseph, with Into the Spider-Verse, I'm like, this movie is perfect. It revolutionized animation. The leap of faith sequence is like genuinely like moving and goosebump inducing every time I see it. But if I have to find something to like to it's like technically like since it's about the multiverse, like does it technically stand on its own 2 feet? And it like to be clear, it does as a movie, but like since it's about the multiverse, like it kind of doesn't. And so for that reason is the only reason I have it at number 2 instead of number 1.
So why is OG Spider-Man number 1 for you?
I just think it's a perfect like origin story for Peter Parker. I love that like we spend time with him like 30 minutes before he even gets bitten. I love that he doesn't become a superhero right away, that it's about getting the wrestler money for a car to impress MJ.
Yeah.
And then only after like the guy rips him off and it like kind of understandably lets the bad guy go and the Uncle Ben stuff happens, then he's like, wait a minute, I need to be more than this. And I also think this movie does something that more superhero movies should do of giving a villain an origin story in parallel with the superhero instead of having a fully developed villain that's like waiting in the background to emerge in the third act. It's like they're happening in tandem. And I think the Danny Elfman soundtrack is just outstanding. And I love that Spider-Man just gets the snot beaten out of him in the final fight in this movie too. He just gets wrecked, and like his final comeback is so earned.
Yeah, I agree.
So yeah, I love the first Toby just so much. I have the poster right here.
That's right. He watches over us every episode. I should have known that's what you had number one, considering I didn't even think about that. The poster really was the spoiler in plain sight.
Yep, there you go.
So Trent, if we were to rank Batman movies, is Batman and Robin also number one?
That's Batman Forever, by the way.
Oh, never mind.
Oh, there you go.
But is Batman Forever and Batman and Robin are not last place. So
Okay.
There's at least that.
Probably not one
that.
though.
Not number one.
No. Okay. Well, I'll say I had Into the Spider-Verse as my number one. I'm gonna come off of that because it feels like that's not where the direction of this group is going.
I mean, technically, by our rule of consensus, me and Joseph have it at 2, so it should have to be 2, I guess.
I think so. I think we slotted in at 2. I think for me, it's not even just number one in this rankings. I think it is in the conversation for best comic book movie ever made. But I can understand the points you guys have made about the other movies. So basically that leaves one that leaves 1 and 3 open for Spider-Man 2 and Spider-Man Homecoming.
I'm willing to meet because I love Homecoming. I maybe sounded cooler on it, but like I'm actually willing to embrace Homecoming being number one. It will freak out the diehard Spider-Man people that like
definitely will.
Because like Spider-Man 2 is put on the Mount Rushmore of comic book movies with like The Dark Knight.
Right. Right.
But if we have to find something like even rewatching Spider-Man 2 and actually loving it more than I did before this last rewatch, I'm like, it's a little slow at a couple parts.
But I think both of the first two Tobey movies can be.
For sure. But if we're comparing Homecoming to it, like Homecoming like it doesn't have moves. A sequence that I would take out.
Yeah.
And so if I have to find something, I can get my brain there.
Wow, this is not at all how I thought this was going to go.
I mean, I'm also willing to be a little open-handed with Spider-Man 2, especially since we knocked Trent's number one so far down.
I know. Now
I'm like
you're being so gracious earlier
for the cultural significance.
Yeah, you know what? Like the train thing is so good. There's nothing in Homecoming as good as the train sequence in Spider-Man 2.
I would agree.
I agree.
So I think actually we got to put Spider-Man 2 at number one.
I'm fine with that.
It is it's the more memorable movie, I think.
I think so.
Because I think Homecoming can. There's so many other Tom Holland Spider-Man moments out there.
Yes.
But I think that train sequence and a few other moments in Spider-Man 2 are like iconic and live on forever. All right, so is that our list?
I think that's the official list.
Okay. So from the top, we have number 1, Spider-Man 2. Number 2, Into the Spider-Verse. Number 3, Spider-Man Homecoming. Number 4, Across the Spider-Verse. Number 5, Spider-Man. Number 6, Spider-Man No Way Home. Number 7, The Amazing Spider-Man. Number 8, Spider-Man 3. Number 9, Amazing Spider-Man 2. And number 10, Spider-Man Far From Home. That is not how I thought this was going to go. Do we want to each reveal our individual list real quick?
We can do it real quick. So I have at number 10, Far From Home. I have Spider-Man 3 at 9. I have Amazing Spider-Man at 8. I have Amazing Spider-Man 2 at 7. Across the Spider-Verse at 6. No Way Home at 5. Homecoming at 4. Spider-Man 2 at 3. Into the Spider-Verse at 2, and Spider-Man at 1.
Yeah.
Okay, I think mine may also cause some controversy. I have, at the end, Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Mm-hmm.
And then I do have Far From Home at 9.
Okay.
First Amazing Spider-Man at 8. No Way Home at 7.
Wow.
Across the Spider-Verse at 6. Then Spider-Man 3 at 5, because, I mean, I get down with Spider-Man 3, even though it's not great. Original Toby Spider-Man at 4,
Okay.
Spider-Man 2 at 3, Into the Spider-Verse at 2, and Homecoming at 1.
Yeah, this Spider-Man 3 being at 5 is like, I love that.
Yep.
Like I
You go,
love that.
Justin.
Okay, my list, I had at number 10 The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Haven't seen it, so it had to go last and by default. Number 9, Spider-Man 3. Number 8, The Amazing Spider-Man. Number 7, Far From Home. Number 6, the OG Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. That is apparently blasphemous. Number 5, Homecoming. Number 4, No Way Home. I just love that movie. I think it's the best Tom Holland one. Number 3 was Spider-Man 2. And then I had number 2, Across the Spider-Verse, and number 1, Into the Spider-Verse. I had the 2 animateds at the top. I just think they're incredible. So we had really different lists.
You think they're incredible, not spectacular?
You're right. That was silly of me. They're not amazing.
No,
Yeah.
I'm surprised, but I'm not, because as we said at the top, like none of these movies are like bad movies in the way that like some Batman movies are like objectively bad, or
Right.
some X-Men movies are objectively bad. Spider-Man's not like that, so I'm not surprised. And I feel like the internet is so passionate about this character. We've all probably absorbed on some level like such debates about all of these, or seen clips of such debates about the
Yes.
merits of all of these.
I mean, we could dive deeper on a lot of these movies, I think, and really get in, like, and have our opinions maybe shift throughout the process, because I think they're a lot closer than maybe the reaction will be to this episode. Like, I think they're a lot closer in quality than it will look like on a list that we rank.
I 100% agree with that.
I really do think the only bad one is Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Yeah,
I know there's some disagreement on that, but the rest of these, I'm like, I'd honestly be down to sit down and watch any of them.
That's the thing.
At any time, except for that one. But the rest of these, I'm like, I have a great time with all of them.
Exactly. Like, none of these movies would be a chore to put on.
Literally, as we were talking, I was like, oh, I rewatched a chunk of these for the prep for this. I'm going to take a break for a while. And I'm like, am I about to throw on Spider-Man 3 at some point in the next couple of days? Just just for fun this time.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, I think that's going to do it for our episode today. We did it, boys. This is a challenge. We should do this more often with other franchises. I think this is our first real rankings episode like this, and
it'll be interesting if Brand New Day. I assume we'll add it to the official ranking. See if this upsets the whole thing.
I think we should, when we review the episode, I think we should come prepared with like where it would sit in our personal rankings.
Yeah, personal and
off of first view. You know, obviously it'll be gut instant reaction, but still, I think we should do that. All right. As always, thank you all for listening. It's been a pleasure talking to you both, as always. Be sure to subscribe to this podcast wherever you get your podcast, and on YouTube. Watch this episode, and follow us on social media at The Stinger Pod. You can vote on which ranking you agree with the most, and send us your own personal rankings. DM us on Instagram and let us know what you thought. We can't wait to talk to you more. We got the Odyssey and we got Spider-Man Brand New Day coming down the pipeline. Those will be the things you can look forward to hearing from us next. And we will be back soon.